Good morning. Hello, welcome. Excuse me. I thought we'd come in and finish up the fermenting house where we left off yesterday, and then get the rest of the I3D mapping done, and give it a quick test. Alright, so our camera is 6. Exact fill root 1 is going to be 1, 0, and 0. Palette trigger 1 is going to be 1, 0, and 1. Our in displays. 0, 33, and 0. Zero, 33, and 1. And then these are going to be 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8. Now our out displays 0, 34, and 0. And this will be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8. Right, 0, 34, and 8, 0, 34, and 8. Now our start 1, end 1, start 2, and end 2 are for our operating parts where our pallets spawn out. So that's going to be 8,000. And our end is going to be 8, 1, 2, 3. Hang on, did I mess that up? 8 with 3 zeros, and then 8 with 4 zeros. So 8 with 1, 2, 3, yep, and then 8 with 4 zeros. Our spawner 2 is going to be 8010. 8010, and this is going to be 80100. 80100. There we go. So that takes care of those. Our player trigger is going to be 3. Our smoke, where is our operating parts is going to be 036, 0, 36, 0, and 0. Our audio is 5. Beacon. Do we have to move the beacon, or did I put the beacon in place? Nope, I put the beacon in place. Alright, so our beacon is 4. Beacon is 4. Our fill plane, which was out, did I put the fill plane in the wrong spot? I did, but it'll work. 0, 34, and 9. Our player trigger 2 to build the factory is 10. Oh, not trigger 2, sorry. Trigger 2 is our out. Our loading trigger. That is 2, 0, and 0. Our plane. Now our player trigger 2 is 10. Our exact fill route 4 is 9 and 40. Our pallet trigger 4 is going to be 9 and 41. Now our lighting. Our lighting is, close some of these. Our lighting. Alright, first one is going to be 0, 37, 0, 1, and 0. So it's going to be 0, 37, 0, 1, and 0. And then let's just Control C. And this is going to be 1, 1, and 0. 37, 2, 1, and 0. 37, 3, 1, and 0. This is a 4. This one is a 5. This one is 6. 7. This one is going to be 8. This one is going to be 9. Now this one's going to change a little bit. This one's going to be, no, we're good. 37, 37, 10, but it's going to be 0 and 1. So it's going to be 037, 10, 0, and 1. $11, 0, and 1. 11, 0, and 1. 12, 0, and 1. This one is going to be 13, 0, and 1. And 2 more lights. This one's going to be 14, 1, and 0. And then the last one should be 15, 1, and 0. 15, 1, and 0. And then these we don't need. So I eliminated some lights. And then this should be our XML complete fermenting house. We have our store picture. It's got my brand. It has all of our infill types. Fermenting house. We have our fill roots in. We have our loading triggers in. All of our inputs are in. All of our outputs are in. We have our production lines finished. Player triggers in, sound is in, smoke is in, and then our i3D mapping is done. So i3D mapping is done, our 110 is done, our mod description is done. Bowden88, hello, welcome. I am finishing up the fermenting house. We're about ready to zip it up, throw it in game, and see what kind of errors we get. So I am going to, just for my notes, in case we have to crack the i3D open, I just want to jot the size of the plane down. 104.56 by 135.71. I always put this plane under the whatever I'm working on, so it just helps me visualize what I'm working on a little bit better and gets everything on the ground so nothing's floating. Alright, so let's save the i3D. I'm going to zip up this file and let's bring up our test map. let's copy this, paste it over. Now let's fire up the test map, and I'm going to have to switch over to live scene, so just bear with me a minute. And we'll drop it in a test map and we'll see if it works, or what kind of errors we get. And the fermenting house should be here in the store now, yep. Oh, hey, thank you, uh, Jeff. I think we chatted a little bit this morning. I can't remember. I've got so many comments I went through. Honda Teddy. Honda Teddy. Hey, hey, welcome to the stream. Thanks for hanging out today. I am going to come up here. I am going to. This is my test map where, money really doesn't count. Everything's cheated in. This is where I test all my new factories. I should have somewhere, yeah, up here on the top of the mountain. I was testing the pie factory. Pie factory's done. I'm going to get my vehicles out of the way, and I'm just going to sell off the pie factory, and we're going to put the fermenting house down and see what kind of errors we get in the log, if any. A little bit more speed. We'll use these same vehicles. I just want to get them out of the way. And let's get our K100 out of the way. I think that's the last vehicle I had up here. Yeah, I've got a better trailer from Eagle 355th. It's a Distinction. Let me see if I have it here in my store folder. I'm waiting to hear back from Eagle 355th to see if we can use it. I know it works because I tested it this morning, and I use this. I've done a personal edit to this one. It holds 1,000,000 liters in the front compartment, 1,000,000 liters in the back compartment. It's color selectable, and I know it works because I used it this morning. So I'm just waiting to hear back from Eagle 355th to make sure I can share it, and then we'll get that one. We'll give that one out some point as soon as I hear back from them. All right, so I'm going to sell the pie factory. And we should have, we got another truck sitting over here. And then we'll plop the fermenting house down and we'll test it. Pie factory's ready to go. But I'm going to have Papa Smurf look at the other Wilson trailer because it's part of his, it's in the pack with the T440 triple wide root crop harvesters. But let's get my island placeables, fermenting house. Let's zero to square it off. We'll plop her down. And we should have a cone in order to build it. So we are going to need lumber, steel, drywall, concrete, plywood, and wallpaper to build it. And then just go through here, make sure I've got no 110 errors. Everything looks good so far. Yeah, everything looks good so far. Alright, so before I crank this up, just bear with me a second, I'm going to check my log for any major errors before we start spending a half an hour building this factory. I've got to make sure it builds, I've got to test those triggers, and I got to make sure it actually works once it's built. So let me just peruse through my log real quick and then I'll come back. Oh, okay, so I have I've got a issue with an input of power cells. Definitely have okay, so let's alright, so I've got an issue in the log, error in the log with power cells. So what we're going to do is we are going to sell this back off. And I am going to come back over here, we're going to save. I'm going to quit out. I'm going to switch you back over to windowed. And then the log has an error with power cells. So I've probably I've either got a capital letter or a lowercase POWERCELLS. So what did I do wrong with power cells? Our input is POWERCELLS. Now our fill type is power cell singular, so there is my error. So let's go to our 110, let's take it from power cells plural to power cell singular. So it's power cell, fill type is power cell. Yeah, it's power cell, not power cells. And then we have to come down here and change all of our inputs to power cell singular. So that fixes all the power cell. Now while we're in here, let's just check that, okay, it's dead cell singular, not dead cells plural. So let's look at our outputs now. We're going to output dead cell singular. And we have to change all this. Output dead cell singular. So our outputs are going to go dead cell, not dead cells. And it should be dead cell down here. Alright, so let's save that. I'm going to pull this folder back up. We're going to delete this zip. We're going to re-zip it. Copy it. I'm going to put it in my test folder. And then we're going to change you back to live scene. And we're going to crank the map back up and see if we got the errors out of it this time. I use the K100 and Slide on Tipper in game, but I have that awesome Eagle 355th trailer that is also the double. That I'm gonna, like I said, as soon as we get permission from Eagle 355th, we'll get that. I'll get that on the Trello board at some point today. But I hardly ever use the double Wilson trailers at all. I always use the K100 and the Slide on Tipper. So back up to the top of the mountain, go into the store, under placeables, let's drop the fermenting house back down. Now, like I said, I should have the build menu. We have the build menu. I am just going to check my log really quick for any errors before we spend a half an hour building this factory. And no errors in the log this time, so we are awesome. So now we're gonna have to cart all this shit up the mountain to actually build this trailer. So this is gonna be a painful half an hour of me carting shit up here to build this factory. But it's the only way to test the triggers and make sure the factory's gonna build. And it's nighttime, so I may just forward the night, we'll see. If it gets too dark, we'll just forward the night. But let's go grab some lumber. Let me get down here and then I'll catch up on chat, guys, so I don't end up driving this thing off the mountain. But like I said, this is my test map. I preloaded the warehouse with everything I need for testing. And then this map should have traffic turned off. But grab a load. Yeah, it does. Let's grab a load of lumber. Wish it was a little bit closer, but I don't have any big flat spots on this map to test factories on other than the top of the mountain without having to cart everything over by ferry. But let's grab some lumber. See what setting we're on. Let's go to long pallets. Let's grab one more load of lumber. Honda Teddy, thank you. Yeah, I love this map. Across the street from the logistics center. Just curious what items can be stored at. That is a. Let me hear. We'll drive over there. That is a manual storage. There's nothing auto load in there. But if you buy a forklift. Here, let me walk in before we run this load of lumber up the mountain. That's a building that Papa Smurf built. We wanted to honor Trucker Pike. Trucker Pike helped Papa Smurf out and helped myself out tremendously. But come inside the door and you come over here, you can open up this door and then back your trailer up and then buy yourself a forklift, and then you can manually, this has to be manually loaded and unloaded. But you can also come up here, open up these doors, back some trailers in on this side. It has a working dock plate, so put your dock plate up, put your ramp up if you need to, onto the trailer, and then you can get your forklift, and then you can manually load and unload this warehouse for a more realistic gameplay other than auto load. So that's that logistics center. But I will need to get this fermenting house built so we can make sure that the triggers work. It actually builds like it's supposed to, and then the building itself works. I just wish it didn't take so long to cart everything up the mountain and actually build the factory. Big Kurt 2K1766, thank you for the follow. Welcome to the stream. I am working on a placeable fermenting factory for the new map, and then eventually it'll work on all 3 maps as soon as I get the other 2 older maps updated. But for now we're going to play Delivery Simulator and take everything up the mountain we need to build this factory with. It's the only way to properly test it without cheating everything in. And like I said, it's getting dark here soon, so I'll forward time here in a minute just to get us through the night. But I wanted this to be a placeable, buildable factory, not just a placeable factory. So let's throw in I may have to leave it on the truck. Sometimes the build triggers work better when they're actually on the truck. If not, I'm going to have to adjust this trigger. Yeah, because that is definitely not unloading the way I wanted it to. So let me check the trigger. Trigger may be a little bit too short. Let's see. May have to adjust this trigger a little bit. Yeah, it's definitely not taking the lumber. Just try dropping it on the ground one more time, and if we'll jump out and we'll adjust this trigger and come back in. Yes, it's definitely not taking in the lumber. Unless I just set it the numbers wrong. Oh, yep, I set them at 10,000 liters instead of 100,000 liters. Alright, let's go fix that. Let's fix that. Alright, so let's save this. Trigger's working. Mod author set the numbers wrong. So let's quit out of here. Let's go back to windowed. Let's pull up the fermenting house XML. So lumber is 100,000. Steel's 100,000. Drywall's 100,000. Concrete, plywood, wallpaper. Alright, so let's save this. Want to leave that open. So let's open that XML back up. There we go. Until I'm done. So let's delete this copy. Zip it back up. Copy that. Throw it back in the test folder. And let's fire the game back up. And grab a sip of coffee while this is loading. Hope everybody's enjoying the new map. Thanks for hanging out today. The Pie Factory is pretty much ready to go. I have a few minor adjustments. Gaz 1662738, thank you for the follow. Welcome to the stream. The Pie Factory is about ready to go. I have a few minor adjustments to make to it. Fat Frog Gaming, thank you for the follow. Welcome to the stream. Fermenting House, we are testing now. And then I have a breakfast factory to build that's going to make scrambled eggs, hash browns, Denver omelets, Western omelets, and orange juice. And then I'll release all three as a package. I haven't even started the breakfast factory yet. Now this should take the rest of the lumber. Back up, back up, back up. Stop. I need better brakes on this truck. That's better. That's how it should unload. Let's see if we have 100,000 liters of plywood in here. And we do, or I mean of lumber. So let's go grab some steel. I'm hoping I put the project at 600,000. Let's see, what do we have the project at? 100,000. No, so that's wrong as well. Let me go back out and fix this. Production should be 600,000 liters because it has to add all of these up. So let me, yep. Let me go in and fix that as well, or it's not going to build. So let's save this once again. I'm just going to quit out. Quit all the way out. Take you back to window. Let's bring our XML back up. So our project should be where's our inputs? We have our inputs, our output, our project. This should be you check the Pi Factory just to make sure. So our project, alright, hang on, let's go back up here. So my lumber is a 1, 2, 3, yeah, 100,000, 100,000, 100,000. Our project is at 100,000. So we put all of our, yeah, so that should be right. So let's take 100,000 liters of each to build the project. And let me just verify that with one of the in-game factories to make sure I have those numbers right. Which factory builds? Dole builds. Let me look at Dole real quick. Make sure I got the XML set up properly. So our project output is 100,000. Okay, so that is correct. So this should build. Throw this back on my test map. So sorry about that. Let's go back to the factory, and it should build this time. That cone will disappear once the factory's built, but it just tells you where your player trigger is to get the build menu. My game takes a little bit to load because I have Twitch running in the background, I have Streamlabs running in the background, I've got editor. Alright, so you zoom out. I hate camera snap. Alright, so let's drive you down and grab some steel. And then as soon as I get down here to grab the steel, get through the night and grab some daylight. This is where I wish I had Follow Me installed and I could just line up a few trucks and bring everything up at the same time. I used Follow Me a lot in 17. I haven't used it at all in 19. But I'm lucky if I have 20 hours of actual single player game time in. I have about 2,000 hours in the game and it's all testing. let's drop off this, grab some steel. Mr. Farm 20, thank you for the follow. Welcome to the stream. This is the new 16X production map, Ritchie Islands. I am working on a placeable fermenting house to make wine, rum, vinegar, and sauerkraut. And I spent the last few days getting it built and finished up the XML work this morning. And now we just got to deliver all the stuff to it and make sure it builds. Get rid of our extra lumber and we'll spawn out some steel. And we'll run our steel up the mountain. Like I said, this is my test map where I really didn't, I preloaded all the factories with my build product so I can just test without having to make the product. But let's grab a load of steel, get through the night, and we'll head back up the mountain. Grab another load of steel. And then let's grab some daylight. And we get a cloudy day. Better than a rainy day, I guess. Yeah, this map has the custom lighting in it. And I don't want to give you the wrong name. It was either Stevie or Alien Jim. I can't remember who did the custom lighting. Memory is not as good as it used to be. That's why I have 3 notebooks sitting next to my computer. And I refer to them a lot when I'm building or working in the editor. Alright, so let's get our steel in here. And that should be all of our steel. Yep, so let's grab some drywall next. And turn auto load back on so I don't lose this load coming down the mountain. trying to check chat, drive off the mountain. So I don't have two monitors. I need a couple more HDMI cables and an adapter, and a little bit bigger desk before I can get my second monitor set up. But it's going to have to wait until the funding is available. Let's grab some drywall. Dump off our steel. Spawn out some drywall. Drywall in the other... Do I have drywall in this one? Yep, our drywall's over here. Spawn these 8 out. And then we'll grab 8 more. Grab 8 more. I guess I should have went this way. Let's do a little bit of off-roading. Dixieland and Dixie in the house. Hello. Working on trying to get the fermenting house built to make sure that the trigger's working. It builds, but it's taking me forever to haul everything up the mountain. Had to make a few adjustments. Had a couple errors in the XML, but I just got to get the rest of this stuff up the mountain to build it with. Dixie, I was expecting you to stream last night. I was too tired. I didn't jump on. Matter of fact, I took like a 3 or 4 hour nap in the afternoon yesterday. I was just so tired of after getting all the testing we've done and getting the map released on Sunday. Let's get our drywall in here. that all you want, or do you want a little bit more? Yeah, you're going to want some more. Oh, come on. I gotta drop you off the ground, onto the ground. Of course I'm gonna have to drop you onto. There we go. So you're gonna need a little bit more. So what do we need? Let's grab another load of drywall. So yeah, I'll just grab 16 more and I'll just take back the extra. It's too early in the morning to do the math. On this test map, I may delete the Hershey factory from my map completely, and I may use that spot there where the Hershey factory is to test all the new factories, and so I don't have to keep driving up the mountain. Since it's the only empty spot on the entire map, I can put a factory down without having to ferry the stuff across. But let's grab some more drywall. And then I know we're going to need at least a load and a half of plywood. Or almost 2 loads of plywood. 2.5 loads of plywood, something like that. But let's get the rest of the drywall up there. But unfortunately, testing the long way is the only way to make sure the triggers work without cheating this stuff in. Let's run the drywall up. Oh cool, Dixie's in answering questions in chat for me. Thanks, Dixie. So I gotta look over at my phone to read chat. You know, drop this off, come back for some plywood. Or I may just come over here and wipe this town out and flatten this area, and I can use this for testing. But this is not the map I stream from. This is definitely just my test map and my test folder. get the rest of the drywall here. And what do you have? You should have... Alright, so let's grab the plywood next. Because I know that's going to be like 2 or 2.5 trips. Yeah, guys, I'm not going to do another map tour today. I need to get this fermenting house tested because I have some errands I have to run this afternoon. So as soon as I get this fermenting house built and all the triggers work and it's tested, its pallets spawn out, I'm going to have to get off of here for a couple hours. I have, I'll be gone for a few hours to get some errands done. But I just thought I'd stream here really quick and just jump off before lunch. Alright, plywood. Are you in this one or are you in the other one? You are in the other one. Grab our plywood. And find my truck. Get the auto load back on. Let's get this up there. Oh, see, Dixie came on into the stream too late. I had the pie factory completely up and running this morning, but I sold it to make room for the fermenting house. First load of plywood. Come on, slide a little bit so you can hit the trigger. Alright, I'm going to have to drop you on the ground. Oh, there we go. Well, I had it. Oh, alright, so let's go. Get you in this trigger. I've got a small adjustment I need to make on this trigger. And I'll turn it back off. So we need, yeah, another load of plywood. Six Wheelan, welcome. Thank you for the follow. Welcome to the stream. I am working on a placeable fermenting factory that has to be built, placed anywhere on the map. It's going to make a couple different wines, rum, vinegar, and sauerkraut. But I need to test all the triggers to make sure it's going to build. And then once the factory is built, we're going to need to fill it and test the triggers to make sure the factory actually works. So I am carting all the buildable items up to the factory so we can just get it built. Plywood, wallpaper, concrete, and we're good. So a couple more trips up the mountain. And then we'll get it built. It's the only flat spot on the mainland. I had to put the factory down to test it. Yeah, it's going to be at least another 2 to 3 weeks before I get the 3 factories finished and released. The breakfast factory is going to be, that's going to be another complete build from scratch. I don't even have that one started. The fermenting house was easy because I ported it over from the last map, and all I just had to do was update it. But the breakfast factory is going to be a complete rebuild. Let's grab 2 loads of plywood. We'll get them up the mountain, and we'll come back down for a load of wallpaper. But I'll try and do a lot of the breakfast factory on camera as well. But that's going to, like I said, it's going to be a complete brand new build. Another load of plywood. And I'm just get the truck out of the trigger. So this should be all the plywood we need, and I'm going to spawn out the wallpaper so we can just come back and grab it. But I think it's in this building back here. Yeah, so spawn out some wallpaper. At least the first load. Yeah, the production chain, thanks Dixie, yeah, the production chain is going to be a lot simpler on the pie factory. There's no pie dough, no pie plates. It's just bring everything to the factory and it makes your pies. I think it's flour, butter, power cells, and then all your like your apples, your pumpkin, your cherry, and everything you need to build your pies with. So even on the other two maps, once I redo them, the production chain is going to be a lot simplified. So there's no more making nails to make pallets and no barrel rings to make barrels. It's the other two factories are going to be the same as this one. So basically, what you get on this island for Mammoth Mill, I'm going to make a mini version of it for the two older maps and get them updated. We'll get the orchards updated so they're all bulk fill like this map. So all your fill types and all your pallets on all three maps will be identical after I get these three buildable, placeable factories done. Then I'm going to start rebuilding the two older maps and getting them updated. And then it's going to be a lot easier, a lot more player friendly because then we can use one vehicle pack for all three maps, the placeable pack for all three maps, the required mod pack for all three maps, and so forth. It's just going to be a lot easier. Get the rest of the plywood in here. And that should be our plywood. Yep, plywood's at 100%. Let's grab our wallpaper. And turn auto load back on so I don't dump it off driving down the mountain. And then, like on the Ritchie's Hollow map, the factory that's built in that makes the lawnmowers and the porta-johns and water coolers. Um, Eventually, I'm going to pull that factory out of that map and then make it a buildable placeable for this map. So I think that was I love that factory. That was a pretty fun factory. And then we'll get a placeable coffee factory, placeable soda factory. We'll get the ice cream factory back after the other two maps are updated. We could do the bakery again. We could do the frozen foods. Alright, so plywood I think was this fun. Yes. Oops, didn't mean to jump out of there. So let's go back to regular size pallets. Regular size pallets. Turn you on. And then if I have some time, it's in the works, but it's on the back burner as I want to adjust every one of these warehouses. So it'll spawn out 16 of the big pallets and then 40 of the small pallets. But like I said, it's in the works, but not really high on the food chain right now because it's a lot of work and it's going to require a map update. Alright, now I am going to spawn out, before I leave here, I'm going to spawn out a load of power cells because I know we're going to need them. And I'm going to spawn out a load of barrels. Barrels in this one? No, barrels must be in this one. Yeah, slow down and spawn out a load of barrels. And then that should be our last trip down the mountain for palleted product. Oh yeah, with the with the Giants engine only allows 255 fill types, and as soon as you hit 256 fill types, it throws an error, a Lua error, and anything over 256 fill types don't work. So the two older maps, um, Ritchiesville, Ritchie's Hollow, are maxed out. This map, thanks to Dave Dodgenet and his team, there's a new mod called the Limit Break mod. It overwrites Giants fill types from 255 up to 1024. So this map, as the required mod pack, has the Limit Break mod available. So this map is overwritten from the 255 fill types to 1024 fill types. So with the extra fill types, future possible future factories are going to be a lot more available because shit, we have like 800 extra fill types to play with now. So we can keep building factories until we max out at 1024 fill types. So that the possibilities are almost endless. Well, not really endless, but endless at 1024 fill types. So this map is already over Giant's limit, but working on the Limit Break mod. Alright, let's get our wallpaper in here. Turn auto load back on. Is that all you need? Yep, that gets all of our wallpaper. So the only thing we need is concrete, but before I dump the concrete in there and build this, I'm going to drop this load of wallpaper off and grab the power cells and barrels so I don't have to drive back up and down the mountain again. And we'll have them up here ready for us. And then we'll put the concrete in there and we'll build that factory. And then I love the new mining also on this map. So when the two older maps get updated, you're not going to have any pre-existing mining products already on the ground. So it'll have like none excuse me, none of the coals and ores and sand or any of that, none of that map will not be preloaded. It's going to have the same mining as this map, where you have to spawn the boulders out and then take the boulders over to be crushed down. Now, I know I'm going to drop these off at the wrong warehouse because I cannot remember which warehouse they go in. But I'm not too concerned if I drop them off on the wrong one. I'll just come back and fix it later. I don't know if it was this one or if it was the one that's back a little bit further. And it's not that one. So let's go back here and drop them off. That's better. Come over here. Let's grab our power cells. And let's run our power cells over and smash them and leak battery acid all over the place. And let's grab our barrels. Now let's get this factory built and make sure it actually builds. But once I get this load up there, and before I put the concrete in, I'm going to do a quick save. This way, if there's something goes wrong and if I have to fix the factory, we don't have to take all this stuff back up to refill the factory with. I can just go back to the save. Alright, so let's park you here a minute. I am going to move my store delivery mod up here. We are going to buy a concrete truck. I'm not even going to change the color. Here's where I become a cheater. We're going to fill it with concrete. I'm going to do a quick save. And I was drinking coffee and I have no idea if that's saved, so I'm going to save it again. There we go. Now let's get our concrete in here. And then we'll watch this factory build. It's going to take 2 in-game days to build. I'm going to speed up time, but not like super fast. Because I want to actually watch it build and make sure it works right. Alright, so there is our concrete. So let's just back out of here a little bit. And try and zoom out as far as I can. There we go. And now let's give it a little bit of time. Well, I guess 2000 speed's going to be it. Let me come down to where the cone was and see if I can get my menu. Oh, we'll come in here, we'll grab the menu. Let's check on the project. Oh, it must have built. I don't have the time right, so I'm going to have to change the time so the factory builds a lot slower. It's supposed to take 2 in-game days to build. Alright, so we are going to take you back down. I'm going to exit without saving. I'm going to go back in and adjust the speed, because the speed of the build speed was definitely way off. So I want to pull up and look at Dixie Pie, and the project should only be at 2,000 liters per hour, and we're at 12,000 liters per hour. So I'm going to take the build speed down, save that. Let me bring the fermenting house back up. We'll delete this. We'll re-zip up the folder. Just bear with me till I re-zip this and jump back in game. Copy, paste it into the new test map. So I just adjusted the factory so it would build a lot slower to where it was supposed to be. At 2,000 liters an hour, not 12,000 liters an hour. So let's go back up here and put the concrete back in and get this to build a little bit slower. That's why I test a long way, because I know I always mess something up in the XML. Alright, let's go back, put the concrete in, and it should build a lot slower this time. It should take 2 in-game days to build. That's why I always save it right before I put the last ingredient in, to make sure if I messed anything up I don't have to refill the factory. There we go. Now if we speed up time, it should build a lot slower this time. Here we'll go up to I guess 120 speed's going to be way too slow. Let's go back up to 2,000 speed. Ryzen Sun Gaming, thank you for the follow. Welcome to the stream. There we go. That's building a lot slower. It's building the way it should. We'll just get through both game days. Check out the build menu. Just wait for it to hit 100%. 100%. Let's go back down to 1 speed. Now we should have our menu here. Yep. So now we can make our melon wine, rice wine, rum, sauerkraut, and vinegar. And I hear thunder, but the sun's out. Let's make sure. I'm just going to walk through here really quick, make sure nothing's floating, because this is the first time I am seeing it in game. So I'm just going to do a quick walk around. There's our fermenting house. Here's our generator for the power cells. So we're going to input grapes, melons, rice, sugarcane or molasses, red cabbage water, sea salt, power cells, and barrels. And we'll get red wine, melon wine, rice wine, rum, sauerkraut, vinegar, trash, sewage, and then some dead cells that we can take back and recharge. Everything, I don't see anything floating. I can't tell if the lights are on or off, but they should be off. So let's start filling this up. We need if I can remember what side the fill trigger's on, I think it's this side. Actually, hold on. Where is the tree? Yeah, it's on this side. Alright, so let's dump in. Let's dump in some rice. And I know it needed grapes and melons. Melons, grapes. Get our grapes in here. I know it needed either sugar cane or molasses. Dump our sugar cane in. Alright, so what are we missing? We need, okay, red cabbage and sea salt. Let's grab our red cabbage. Grab our sea salt. Get this truck out of the way. Make sure the collisions on the fence work. Yep. Alright, so let's grab, I think, water. He's got sewage in it because I was testing the pie factory, so let's empty the sewage. Should be empty now, yep. Let's throw in some water. Get the water in the trigger. Dixie, thanks for the links. Exclamation point maps will get you the Trello board. Park him here. I think we just need the barrels and the and the power cells. Yep. So let's grab our truck. And turn auto load back on. Messed up our nice neat stack. Nope, missing a pallet somewhere. There we go. So let's get our power cells and batteries in here. Well, we know that trigger works. Alright, cool. So our barrels should show up in here on the shelves. Once you fill that, the shelves will fill up. And then our power cells should come over here where the generator is. Yep, so we got power cells here. Our generator's fired up. We got our smoke working. Should be a beacon over here. Oh, I'm gonna have to move the beacon. You really can't see it. But this, let's go check our. So this, all the lines should now be fired up and active. They are. So let's get a little bit of time. There we go. Let's build up some product so we can test the triggers. Back down before it gets too dark. So we have our red wine, our melon wine, our rice wine, our rum is all liquid fill. And somebody must be walking up the street. Grab this guy. And we'll empty the water out of him. And he should be empty. Now if we come over here to this trigger, we should get, yep, start filling. We can pick up our sewage. We can only pick up our sewage. We should be able to pick up our wines. Why am I only getting sewage? Because this truck probably doesn't do the wines. Yeah, okay, this truck doesn't pick up the wines. Let's go get the other. Let's get our tanker. Alright, so let's bring you out here, out of the way. Let's grab our... Here, we'll grab the K100. I don't think we set any of the tankers up to pick up the wines, so I may have to... I don't even think the Papa's trailer is going to pick up the wine yet. But let's buy one anyway and see. Because I think this one you have to manually tell it what to pick up also. So I don't know if the wines are going to work in here yet. Oh, they will. Alright, cool. So let's deck this one out. And it should be up here somewhere, unless I forgot to move my dilute. No, there we go. So this one should pick up our wine. So our wine is bulk fill. Or liquid fill, I mean. So we know the sewage works. Let's make sure the wine works. Now you should give me a fill trigger to pick up wine. There we go. Rum picks up all of our wines. Grab a little bit of melon wine. Okay, the trailer works. Who's buying wine? Make sure the sell point works. Oh, cool. Castle Cafe. We don't have to go that far. Let's sell it some wine. Make sure the sell trigger works. And then we'll test the trash. Make sure that works. And then we'll spawn out some sauerkraut and vinegar. Make sure that works. And I probably took the long way around to get to the castle. So all the wines and the rum are liquid fill. Yeah, sell point works. Come around and we'll see if make sure the trash trigger works. I know we don't have a lot of trash to pick up, but I want to see if the trash trigger works. This has a little bit of trash in it from when I was testing the pie factory, so I'm going to go ahead and empty it first. Make sure it has nothing in it so I get the trigger and I know the trigger works. So we should come over here. Yep, and it sucked out the trash, so that works. Alright, I'll come over here, and we should be able to spawn out some, over here, our sauerkraut. Let's spawn 2 pallets out, and then our vinegar. Why do I not see vinegar? Because I'm on the wrong, there we go. Vinegar. Spawn 2 of those out. So we have sauerkraut, only 1 liter. Alright, what did I mess up? These should be 4,000 liters. And you're only 1 liter. You're 4,000 liters. I forgot to fix the vinegar palette. So we gotta go in and fix the vinegar palette. Sauerkraut is spawning out correctly. Vinegar, I forgot to fix the palette. So we gotta go in and fix the vinegar palette. And then this factory, other than the vinegar palette not working, that's the only thing I have to fix. Everything else looks pretty good. And then I'll check the log for errors. I'm going to save this. We'll fix the vinegar palette real quick. And we'll quit. I'm going to check the time real quick. Let's see if I've got a few more minutes. It's 11, yeah, I've got a few more minutes, so let me go back to window. Let's pull the factory up and see what I did wrong with the vinegar palette. So let's go palettes. Alright, vinegar palette. Vinegar palette says vinegar diffuse. Alright, so let's see if... Let's pull up the i3D just to make sure it says vinegar. Let's throw a light in here. Alright, so it does say vinegar. And let's check the vinegar XML. So vinegar palette, vinegar palette. I do not see anything wrong with the vinegar palette. Vinegar. Let's check the fill types to make sure it's spelled correctly. And make sure I actually put it in the map. Yeah, Vinegar, Vinegar. It's spelled correctly. Do we have it down here? Yeah, we have vinegar down there. Vinegar palette. Let's see if there's any errors in the log. See why our vinegar palette. Sauerkraut palette spawned out. Vinegar palette did not spawn out. But there's no errors in the log. Vinegar palette. Palettes, vinegar palette. Did I spell it wrong? Vinegar, capital P, P-A-L-L-E-T. Everything looks spelled correctly. We have vinegar there, we have vinegar here. Capacity is 4,000 liters. So everything looks good with the palette. Let's go back to the fermenting house, make sure I didn't mess anything up with our output vinegar. Capacity, output vinegar, fill type is vinegar, aha! It wants to spawn out sauerkraut palette. It's a vinegar palette. It's directed to the wrong XML. Alright, so let's save that. Let us delete this. Let me zip it back up. We know there's no errors in the log. So let me copy this, put it back in the test folder. Alright, so let's fire the game back up, make sure that we actually get vinegar this time. And then as soon as I test the vinegar and sell these pallets, I've got to get out of here. I've got a couple hours of errands to run. So I'm sure Dixie will be around to watch Facebook. And then I can check messages when I get back. Again, I want to thank everybody for hanging out today. I want to thank all the new followers I got today. I think I had 3 or 4 new followers today. You guys are awesome. Josh Hammond, 1979, welcome to the stream. Thank you for the follow. Those follows really help build up the channel. Let's see if we get vinegar this time. Alright, head back up here. Get a little bit of speed. These are probably going to, since these were already spawned out, these are going to be the old pallets. Yeah, so let's spawn out some new vinegar and make sure that it's working. So, vinegar. Spawn out those 2 pallets. And we should have vinegar this time. Yeah, so what do we have? Vinegar, 100%, 4,000 liters. Yeah, perfect. So let's grab our truck and make sure that they sell. The 2 glitched out pallets, I don't know if they'll sell or not. The ones that are spawned out as vinegar but were sauerkraut, I don't know if they'll sell or not. They may be glitched. But let's pick you up. And we'll see who's buying sauerkraut. See who's buying sauerkraut and vinegar. make sure that the sell points work. Over all the way to the end, sauerkraut and vinegar. Alright, we can head down to either Walmart, the diner, or Aldi's. So we might as well, if we're going to spawn them out and make sure the factory works, let's just spawn them all out. So let's take our vinegar, max them out, and we'll take the sauerkraut, max them out. Might as well take them down and sell them. And I have to change this icon yet, because that's for the pie factory. Got to make a new icon yet for the fermenting house. But let's run these down the mountain to make sure that they work. It helps if the auto load is on. And then I'm going to, after we get these sold, guys, I'm going to call it. Like I said, I've got to get my stuff together and I've got to get some errands run. I want to grab some lunch. And then tomorrow morning, if I have the time, I'll come on and we'll start building the breakfast factory. But we'll make a quick trip to Wally World. We'll sell this off. Make sure there's no issues with the trigger. The pallets sell properly and disappear. Yeah, we'll go to Walmart. I haven't tested that trigger at all. There we go. Sauerkraut and vinegar sells, triggers work. The wine sells and it works. Trash is good. The only thing we didn't test were the dead cells. Alright, back up the mountain. I'll make sure the dead cells work. And then I'm going to call it, guys, and get out of here. Appreciate everybody hanging out today. Thank my Patreons for supporting the channel. And thank you all for the new follows today. And give me a second, I'll drive back up the mountain, make sure the dead cells work. I'll catch up on chat before I get out of here. Oh yeah, swish that guy. Stop. I just want to make sure the dead pallet, the dead cells spawn out. And it actually says dead cell, and the quantity is correct. Yep, so we have 2,000 liters of dead cell, and it can get taken down to one of the recharge stations. So everything on this factory is working. It looks like all the signs are correct. Everything is still active and running, so the only thing, like I said, the only thing I have to fix is the floating symbol. We're going to remove the pie and add the barrel for the fermenting symbol. And I believe this factory, I don't see anything floating. Let's just go through. It's almost dark. Let's go to one more night. Make sure that the lights come on. Check the lighting out. So we got plenty of lighting to drop off our goods with. We got plenty of lighting to pick up our pallets with. Plenty of lighting to pick up our trash and our sewage with. Yeah, so I just gotta fix the icon and we're gonna call this factory done. Queen Chris, thank you for all the hard work on the maps, loving the end and playing right now. Thank you. KT, oh, I'm gonna kill your name. K Tigress 2? I'm hoping. That is what I'm thinking about the straw add-on. Straw add-on will work on this map. None of the Maze Plus mods will work on the map. And again, yes, like Dixie said, just if you find anything on the map, we're not perfect. Post it on the Facebook group, and we'll do our best to get it updated and fixed. I am going to get out of here. I do want to thank everybody for stopping in today. I'll be gone for a few hours. I'll check messages when I return. Anybody have any more questions before I get out of here? Give my stream here a minute or two to catch up. Everybody have a good day. I will probably not do any other streams today. Like I said, I have some errands to run, and by the time we get home, it's going to be make dinner and all that happy joy. Anytime an update comes out, you will see it posted on Facebook. And if you go to the Trello board, I will always take that card, slide it up to the very top of the Trello board, and I'll put a big note on it that says updated with the new version number. Excuse me, and then the new date that it was updated. But we always post on Facebook when there's an update. But thanks everybody. I'm going to get out of here. Y'all have a good afternoon, and I'll check messages at some point later.